So, in your view, in recent time, what is the biggest regulatory push that has come from the Government of India for MSMEs in the form of policy incentives and schemes that are notable and beneficial for MSMEs from the futuristic perspective?
Yeah, no, I think that's a great starting point. See, we need to understand that government is very, very cognizant of the fact that our aspiration of our growth agenda, we will never be able to realize unless and until our MSME really starts to scale up, in a very, very broader sense. And in the last number of years, I think there is a significant focus, to not only make structural changes, but also provide all different avenues of assistance, across the board, either at a very, very micro level or at a macro level. We need the other thing that we need to also sort of appreciate is that there are typically 4 or 5 life cycle nodes that an SME requires through the course of their development. And the first one itself being part of a formal economy, which is the identification side of it, and then subsequently support with respect to capital, credit, and the financial side of it. Then the third element is on the entire capacity development, whether it is from a human resource perspective or from a technology perspective. And then it definitely sort of moves into what is called a market linkage, where providing more and bigger markets, for our SMEs to be able to tap into. Now, each one of these verticals are today being looked at very, very surgically. For example, one of the question that Rajeev, you pose as to what is some of the biggest push that has happened, and I, for keeping it a more focused conversation, first and foremost, the definition change. Earlier, our MSME community was identified by virtue of input-oriented definition, and happened it that even couple of decades back, if someone is a micro and by virtue of that definition, it continues to still remain a micro, because that data is never sort of collected. Beyond the data, I think now the push is towards output oriented focus, which essentially means that MSME will now be recognized under composite sync in terms of how well are they able to scale up. Right, and that's why turnover becomes a more important criteria than investment in plant and machinery as such. So from there to the market access of saying that beyond a certain threshold, all public procurement will be reserved for MSME, or a significant portion will be reserved for MSME, is a very, very forward-looking approach. And today, government being the biggest buyer in that sense, public services and government being the biggest buyer, that provides a significant market for our MSME to tap into. So and I can continue to sort of go into some of the several such reforms that have been undertaken, including your IBC, which is SME orientation, operating digital oriented trade and commerce, the technology upgradation side of it, developing industrial cluster. But to my mind, if you have to put it into 2 ends, I would say a definition change and really opening up the market for MSME to tap into.